Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. And what we're going to make is actually a rum flavored butter cake. I'm going to be using rum extract. In fact, it has about 35% alcohol in it. But it's a great tasting cake between tasting the butter and the rum extracts in it. Well, it's really, I think, a fantastic tasting little cake, and it's really easy to make. So let's get started. We're first going to start off with 8 ounces of butter. Now, if you don't have butter or you don't like butter, go ahead, try margarine. I've done it with butter and margarine. They do come out very good, either one. So you decide, but I have 8 ounces of cut up butter, and I'm just going to cream it in my stand mixer. You can certainly make this recipe with your hand mixer. Cream and you break up your butter, okay, you're going to be putting 1 3/4 cups of granulated sugar, a little at a time, and beat it till it's very nice and light and lemon yellow color and quite smooth, okay? Take you a couple minutes or so, depending on the speed, if you're using your stand-up or your hand mixer. But just, combine the granulated sugar with the butter till it's nice and smooth. Now, I am going to be using extracts. I'm going to be using a butter extract and a rum extract and vanilla extract in this cake. Alright, now once you do that, then you're going to put in 5 eggs that have been at room temperature and beat them in one at a time. So I've got one in. There's the second one. The third, the fourth, and now the fifth. I'm going to raise my mixer up with the speed, so I'm going to warn you about the sound. Now I want you also to beat that really well for about 2 or 3 minutes till you have a nice pale yellow color to it, and that everything's been combined well and beaten well. You don't want to overbeat it, but you do want to make sure everything is combined, okay? So I'm just going to let it go for a few more seconds here. The next thing we're going to put in is a teaspoon of vanilla, and we'll beat that in. We're also going to put a teaspoon of butter extract to it. That was 1 teaspoon of butter extract. And 1 teaspoon of rum extract. 1 teaspoon. Okay. And let's beat that in. the last thing that you're going to need is 2 cups of all-purpose flour, a little at a time, till it becomes smooth. You don't want to blend the flour in too high speed because you don't want it all over your kitchen. The flour, that is. Again, go ahead and beat that flour in for a minute or 2. You don't want to beat it, but I raise my speed a lot when I'm, doing these videos because I want to move it along. I want to move it along for the video. Okay, so I'm just going to turn the mixer on just for a couple more seconds. Okay, and I'm going to remove the paddle. Just take the excess off here. I'm going to set that aside. Alright. And then I'll just make sure that, everything's combined. And then I'm going to show you this nice and fluffy and creamy batter. It really just comes out so pretty, and it doesn't feel extremely heavy or dense. It's very, very light and fluffy. Okay, you will need at least a 10-cup pan, Angel Food can, a pan or fluted pan. Go ahead and heavily grease it. I have it dusted with flour. And then I'm just going to take the batter and put it into the baking pan. Of course, I'm going to try to distribute it as evenly as possible into the pan. But first, I want to get that all out of my mixing bowl. And then I'm just going to use this knife to get the rest of it off my spatula here. And just to make sure that everything's out of my mixing bowl. And I think that's pretty good. And get the rest off the spatula. And then I'm just taking a knife, a little butter knife, just to bring everything around to make sure that it's as even as possible. Okay, all right, now what you're going to do is you'll want to bake this cake at 325 degrees, and it could take you anywhere from 50 to 60 minutes depending on your oven, because as we realize, all ovens set up so differently. So I actually start checking mine about 45 minutes. When it's done, of course, use your cake tester, a toothpick, or that type of thing to see that it comes out dry. And then once the cake comes out of the oven, please put it on a cooling rack. Now you'll be able to turn the cake and invert it upside down once it's cool, and that's going to depend on, it might take 5 minutes, it might take 10 minutes. It's really really depends on that, but you do want to put the hot cake on a cooling rack. Now I'm going to wash my hands real quick because I want to show you the cake, but I've been working with raw eggs and I want to rinse my hands here. Okay. Now this is how it will bake up. Now for the topping, you can eat this plain, and this cake is absolutely delicious. You can make a sugar glaze with powdered sugar. with milk or water to whatever consistency that you want. But this particular glaze that I made was 1 cup of granulated sugar, and then I put a half a cup of water till it was boiling. And I actually did it in my microwave, but you can do it on your stove top too. And what you want to wait till it starts to boil and keep stirring it. You know, I took it out of the microwave and re-stirred it, put it back in, and then I watched it boil. Now, once that comes out and it cools down a little bit, then go ahead and then put a teaspoon of rum extract into that cooled sugar mixture, okay? Now, and then let it really cool down, and that's going to take you a while, okay? But it's well worth it. Then with a pastry brush, what I do is I actually just take the sugar mixture and I actually paint it on, or brush it on, I should say, on the cake. And it'll come out looking like this. And it really, you know, I think it looks quite nice. Now let's cut into this to show you the cake itself. Okay. Of what it looks like. It's a very moist cake. I don't know if you can see me pushing on it, though, how light it is. It's not real dense or real heavy. And you can kind of see the crumb flaking away with the knife tip as I'm pulling it away. It really is a very moist yet delicate cake. It just bakes up so pretty, and with the taste of the buttered rum, because that's what you put into it. You have all those 3 extracts. You know, you've got vanilla extract, you got butter extract, and then you've got your rum extract. It really is one great tasting little cake. So I hope you try this recipe. Now, the recipe, I'm sorry, will not be below the video. I no longer do that because so many people are taking my work, taking my videos, putting them on other sites and claiming them theirs, and it's just not worth the time anymore. I'm going to ask you to please watch me solely on YouTube, because that's the only place that I put my videos. And a lot of times when I see my work somewhere else and you ask me questions or you have a comment and I can't answer you, it is so frustrating. But if you watch me on YouTube and then you write to me, I'm going to get that and I'm going to answer you, okay? I also want to thank you for watching Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. If you're so inclined, ring the bell or give me a like, or it'd be fantastic if you'd like to subscribe to the channel. Either way, I appreciate you watching and taking the time and listening to this video as well as watching it. So thanks again for watching Diane Lovetobake on YouTube, and I'll see you soon.